This is my favorite scene from episode 1 because it was the very first time that I was playing Cooper Howard.
But us cowpokes, we take it as it comes, right?
In my own mind, in my own imagination, I was seeing it happen in real time. And I was there with my daughter. And it was terrifying. It really affected me emotionally.
These projects are difficult to bring to life. It's a bit of a high wire act across the board, especially episodically. You got to do 8 hours of this. You have to be smart and you have to trust.
The pilot episode starts really big and an insane number of things happen in it. In our first season, we have 8 hours to play with. There's acres and acres of intellectual property. I mean, 25 years of games. So it really was like, how do we cover as much of this big, crazy world as we can?
I'm so proud of what we were able to create. Incredibly talented crew, incredibly talented cast, everyone pulling together and trying to breathe life into the idea of what Los Angeles would look like 200 years after the end of the world. This show presented a number of different amazing opportunities. All of the creature work, the power armor, all the vehicles, the challenges of building the props, the challenges of finding locations, finding the right cast, figuring out which of these things should be done in visual effects, which of these things should be done practically. There's really nothing you can take for granted. Nothing can just be shot. All of our incredibly talented HODs and crew could just dive right into pulling all of that together, while Graham and Geneva set about with the massive task of figuring out how to create an original story with an original cast of characters that both connects to the mythos of the games in the past, before the bombs dropped, and the existing mythos of the games in latter-day Los Angeles.
We always knew that we wanted to do a Vault Dweller as the main character. I think we were both drawn to shows that have sort of main characters who are ironic to the world of the show, and we felt like a Vault Dweller who was naive but also very civilized and sort of morally righteous would inherently create a lot of conflict with her going to the surface. But we were really drawn to the world of the Vault as well because, you know, it's this planned universe that Vault-Tec has created that extends for centuries into the future. You know, it seems very benign and sort of idyllic, but we were really interested in peeling back the layers of, you know, if a corporation controlled the world and planned every aspect of the world that we lived in, what would the real purpose of everything be?
It's very clear to us early on, initial scripts, that the writers here and Jonah and everybody, they really, really get it. And their ability to go in and out of those different tones, which I think is very hard, they've really, really captured.
There's mountains and mountains of lore and canon, but the aesthetic is super top of mind. Most exciting thing for us was watching Todd Howard wander onto the set for the first day and be like, they got the door texture right.
Well, there's a multi-story vault that's been built. I lost my way to this room. Just being able to walk through it, and it's everything, you know, it's all, there's reports here. There's a letter from Vault-Tec right here, and I can flip through and they have charts of like, how are we raising the animals? It's insanity.
Todd had been approached over and over and over again over the years, for more than a decade, by people wanting to turn Fallout into a movie or a television series, and had steadily rebuffed all of those offers.
We could see Fallout being an amazing TV show, but it's all about finding the right partners. When we talked to Jonah, he and I hit it off. Oh, this is it.
Working with the longtime collaborators and some new ones, this extraordinary team, it allows you to really go for it because you know you have this incredible group of artists. We sort of take the approach that I refer to as maximalism, where we deploy pretty much every production technique possible. With the massive support of Amazon MGM Studios, we were able to build beautiful sets by our production designer, Howard Cummings.
We are based out of New York, but we were thinking it could be anywhere.
Right now, I'm sitting in Elizabeth Bay, which is in Namibia. This has been a dream that Jonah Nolan has had for years. And so finally, this project came along.
This abandoned diamond mine that had been built in the early 20th century in the Skeleton Coast of Namibia, a very inhospitable place.
When they abandoned the mine, and I think it was in the 30s, they ended up blowing it all up. So this whole area was perfect for trying to recreate a post-apocalyptic city. In order to express what the game is about, we had to really add the details without it overtaking what was here. So it was trying to find the right balance of what part of the game do I bring to Elizabeth Bay.
Hold it there, hold it there.
To get back to shooting film is a great pleasure and great joy. It's very kind to the human face in the way that digital photography does not yet seem to be capable of doing.
Doing hair, makeup, wardrobe in a different format, like 35 millimeter. Yeah, there's certain different aspects you have to be aware of. There's color temperature, there's film speed, there's the frame rate. Things are different, and if you're not familiar with that, it could be something that chases you, and you won't know that until you see the dailies. And the dailies might take a day or two to come back, whereas on digital, it's like instant, oh, let's see what it looks like. Things are different, and if you don't know how to navigate that, it can be a challenge.
No one had ever shot there before. And because they resumed mining operations, no one will probably ever shoot there again because it's just too much of a hassle to get a crew in and out.
Loaded, Namibian coast, just with everything blowing around, it's really hectic. The sand just getting into everything. Just give yourself a moment.
Wind and sand. The first 3 days we got there, we had 40-mile-an-hour winds. It's a true challenge for sound. Wind is our enemy. For me, dialogue is really what I focus on, and capturing in the cleanest, most appropriate way for that environment.
It came with a lot of challenges to make the vault suits and also to make them textural and interesting. We ran out of fabric very early on, and we had to make 1 million more of them. So we had the fabric made, which was no easy feat. You know, just when you think it's like, oh, okay, we figured it out, like then there's challenges on top of that. There are 3 different kinds of fabrics, and one is for the principals because it has such great give in both directions, and it was more expensive and harder to get. It's from Italy, and we had to dye it and make sure the color was right with Bethesda blue. You know, every sort of step of the way came with its little caveats. Everything above ground had to look like it had been exposed and also salvaged. It wasn't the end of the world. They had learned how to roll with it and how to dress themselves and how to have a style about them. It's a huge undertaking. The amount of costumes that we had to make and amount of people that we had to dress was huge, huge, bigger than anything I've ever done.
One thing that Jonah told me early on was we're gonna use the songs to focus on the irony of the situation, especially early on in the vault. You've got the world they're living in, the music that kind of speaks to that. They think they're in this utopia. And then the score, that's kind of going to be driving the drama. And that was kind of the handoff between the score and the songs.
Our job is to subconsciously make you feel something with music. There's something that goes with the visual, with the dialogue, with the acting on screen that just enhances that moment. And I think that's something that is very powerful that you can achieve with music.
I'm bringing him home.
A lot of editing is juxtaposition. A good example would be when Lucy leaves the vault for the first time and how the soundscape changes from when you're indoors to outdoors. Everything is about how the character is experiencing it and what's it like to go through that bright light into a world that you've never seen before.
She's never experienced the outside world. She doesn't know what wind feels like, or weather, or the sun. There's the sort of physiological responses that your body has to being on the surface for the first time. And then there's the emotional challenge of having your entire worldview change.
She doesn't know what anything looks or sounds like. She's never been up there. And she starts noticing some sounds as she's walking down through the sand, and she comes around the corner. It's the first time she's ever seen the ocean. You're always trying to get people to lean in more on a show, you know, just the ambiences that made the locations feel different.
Just the atmosphere that caused isn't something you can fake. It was tangible.
We really worked in collaboration with our stunningly brilliant production designer, Howard Cummings, and knew in early plans that while he achieved these magnificent practical sets, we would have some set extensions and a little bit of help to just take things further in visual effects.
One of the things about working with Jonah and Graham in Geneva is this sense that there has to be something real in the frame. When we shot the environment for Shady Sands, we went to a huge lake and they were able to see the scope, and we didn't just shoot it in a parking lot. We dressed the entire set and then said, okay, well, everything out there is gonna be Shady Sands. And so the cameras were able to react correctly, and you were able to figure out how far back you should be able to get the scope you needed.
We always want to maintain the best elements that we captured on the day. Like, we don't want to lose those. It's always very exciting in the world of visual effects to know that you're creating your own unique world for others to really immerse themselves in.
We built one of the first volume facilities on the East Coast and set about trying to figure out exactly what to use it for. We didn't want to use the volume for everything. We just wanted to use it for the kinds of sets that would be too big or too improbable to build. We did a ton of aerial work, but then we brought that onto the volume stage with us. We had gone in the helicopter to Western Utah, gathered all of the plates, and then brought them to life on the volume stage with our fuselage kind of bouncing around. Like, there's a sense of reality for the actors and for me and for everyone else. Handheld cameras inside a fully realized, beautiful interior from one of our vertibirds.
To be on a real rig that is controlled by someone else on set with a joystick that's just shaking you and taking you on a ride on the volume set, the real drone footage whipping past your eye line. It's just an amazing experience for an actor.
The fights, the fight choreography, the stunt work, all just a sort of a dream come true for me as a director. Because you're playing with all of the different toys and trying to put them together to try to give things a sense of weight. And using all of the things we learned over the years to try to make those things feel as immersive and tactile as they do in the games. I mean, most of what you see with the power armor is real, and most of it is our incredibly talented stunts team.
For us, it started with the team at Legacy. We had the best fabricators and designers in the business on this. They made this suit that is supposed to be a giant walking tank that in the video game is 1,000 pounds, and they made it something that somebody could wear and operate and perform in.
We gave him months and months and months of rehearsal to make sure that he was completely fluent. And by the time we were done shooting, he could do almost anything in that suit, which is incredible given how much it weighed and the difficulty of it.
Giving hugs is hard work.
Getting the shots that we got and feeling the way I did about the work, I just felt really proud. I felt like I'd done what I'd set out to. I knew I could go the distance.
Please. Please. There's an old Mexican eulogy. Feo, fuerte y formal. Means he was ugly, strong, and had dignity. Well, Joey, I'll give you 2 out of 3 on that front.
I think it was 2019, and before Kilter had even finished securing the rights that we were talking about, like, oh, we would totally watch a Fallout show if Walton Goggins was in it.
My name is Walton Goggins, and I'm auditioning for the role of Ghoul. Oh, amazing. Wait a minute. We just wrapped. I got it? You mean I got it? Oh, my God.
Walton Goggins is one of those actors who you just put on the bucket list of people who's so versatile and talented, both dramatically and comedically. I don't really know how he does it.
I started this experience as the Ghoul. We started talking about it 6 months before the cameras even began rolling.
We had the enormous challenge of figuring out how to take this incredibly versatile actor with this amazing face that can convey humor and sadness, all these different things, and then put 10 pounds of makeup on it and still have that work.
Ghoul could easily fall into something that's zombie, kind of burn victim. There's all these different aesthetics that I think we wanted to try and avoid as much as possible so that it was its own look.
And we had a very dear friend of mine, Jake Garber. He's one of the best special effects makeup artists in the world, and he stepped in to apply it. First time we did it, it took 5 hours to put the pieces on. And once we were into production, he had it down to about 1 hour and 45 minutes.
When we were doing the makeup in the trailer, he would bring in movies.
I watched copious amounts of Westerns over the course of this. He had it down so quick that sometimes I would ask him to take a little bit longer because the movie I was watching was 2.5 hours long.
I could tell once we started getting towards the end of the application, he started to kind of settle into the role.
You tell a story with your face. You tell a story with your voice. And both of those things were dramatically changed with this prosthetic and with the mouthpieces that I wear. I was so insecure about it when we first started, and like after every take, I would just look at Jonah and he would say, yeah, we got all of it, man. I said, all of it? Everything.
Walton came to set for the first day, and we're all nervous because, you know, is the makeup gonna work? Is it gonna be okay? It was the middle of the summer, and it was very, very hot. And I walk over to give him a hug and welcome him to the set, and he's crying. And I thought, well, it was an emotional day. I get it, you know, first day, big new role. And then I looked at him and I'm like, oh, he's not crying, he's actually sweating. And it's coming out of his eyes because the makeup is so intense. He was just roasting in there. So we had some challenges with it, but he was incredibly game and so up for it.
I just didn't anticipate all that I would feel being the Ghoul. What a magical, strange experience it's been.
This show presented a number of different amazing opportunities. All of the creature work, the power armor, all the vehicles, and the world. The more reality you can bring to bear in front of the camera, the more immersive it is for the audience.
One of the things about working with Jonah and Grandma Geneva is this sense that there has to be something real in the frame.
You always feel much more comfortable using visual effects when you have gone and done the hard work, set up and shoot in beautiful locations.
To shoot in New York, Utah, Namibia, and make it all look like wasteland California was a challenge unto itself.
Working with Jay and with Andrea means that you can really go for it and trust that, yes, you've got a stunt performer with a piece of foam rubber on his head, but by the time you're done, that's gonna look like a Yaguai and it's gonna be great.
Visual effects worked very closely with the costumer to build this insane suit for a stuntman and shoot this so that Aaron was able to really nail the performance.
Having something real in the frame, having something tactile. We can have the artists being able to take the actual textures from the actual puppet and utilize those in our CG. Having all of these things have a reality to it and a groundedness to it that brings up the visual effects. So it's not just, you know, a person sitting there with a tennis ball trying to imagine something.
It was only with the advent of volume technology or LED stages that you can have a physical movie set that we're used to shooting movies on, and then you can create a virtual world around that. Working on an LED stage like this or in a volume puts the pictures around the set and around the actor, and it makes it easier to visualize what's going on.
To be on a real rig that is controlled by someone else on set with a joystick that's just shaking you and taking you on a ride on the volume set, the real drone footage whipping past your eye line. It's just an amazing experience for an actor.
It's a tool, just like any other tool, in our arsenal of storytelling.
Fallout has this beautiful combination of scope and epicness with technology, where you get to embrace things in visual effects while also realizing that it's just one of the pieces that goes together to make up this story.
We have the most talented visual effects artists in the business, and we spend every day trying to figure out how to give them as little work as possible. These lunatics at Gravity Systems out of the UK came over and played with us for a day and put a jetpack on our set.
There's no ground force involved whatsoever, so we can fly as high as we like and we can go anywhere we like. We've got 2 engines on each arm, and then there's a bigger engine on the back. All in all, it's about 155 kilos worth of lift for us coming out the arms.
We're doing our part in visual effects to just take it further. Every single one of us that's been on board from beginning to end is super passionate, really thrilled, really excited.
It was very important, I think, for all of us to make the audience lean in to the visual experience.
I feel like we've been able to create something that has a certain specialness.
There's an enormous satisfaction that goes into working with a group of people and just getting more and more ambitious with every project, and this is a very ambitious show.
Music and sound is so important to the storytelling. We're building that tension that something's going wrong. Lucy hears the massacre before she sees it. As she makes her way towards the sound of the battle, she's experiencing more and more, just trying to make her way through. It's about how the soundscape changes.
I always like to write thematic or motivic ideas. What's the instrumentation? And I sit down with Jonah, we just discuss what this journey that we want to achieve with the music. There's a wide use of instrumentation. I mean, for example, for the ghoul, we have a fretless electric bass that occurs in there. We have broken percussion that rattles when you hit it, just to fit that post-apocalyptic broken feel and of the wasteland. The Brotherhood has a kind of a heroic feel, but very dark. And then Lucy's theme, it starts out very innocent on the piano and strings, and then it kind of carries us and it takes us somewhere else as the show goes on.
We've created probably 5 different worlds. So for me, you know, the real challenge and the artistry is really kind of helping to create those worlds in sound.
So we definitely use sound to make you feel like you're in the environments that we're seeing.
This'll do it, this'll do it. This'll keep them away.
Oh, thank you.
All those elements come together in trying to create a soundtrack that supports that world.
Okie dokie.
Stylistically, we said, how can we have the future aspect, but the retro aspect, and give it a good contrast?
We love to use Ramin's original score, and then every once in a while you'll take advantage of a great song, because the emotional power that it has for people when they're familiar with it is incredible.
We're going to use the songs to focus on the irony of the situation, especially early on in the vault, because you've got the world they're living in, the music that kind of speaks to that. They think they're in this utopia, and then the score was kind of driving the drama, and that was kind of the handoff between the score and the songs.
For me, it's like a puzzle where you look at the characters, you look at the story, and how can you plan your motivic and thematic elements. There's something that goes with the visual, with the dialogue, with the acting on screen that just enhances that moment, and I think that's something that is very powerful that you can achieve with music.
A show like Fallout is such a deliciously weird world. The tone of it, the oddness of it, the violence of it. I was constantly amused by the possibilities on the page. That's the only way I know how to do it, is to choose subject matter that I'm excited by.
Jonah wanted to make it cinematic. You know, we were going to shoot on film. We were shooting a lot of things on locations. It's like, so how do you transform the outside world into looking not only post-apocalyptic, but Fallout post-apocalyptic, which is a whole different thing.
We built massive, beautiful sets in New York City, and then get on the road, get down to the Skeleton Coast in Namibia, out to the western wastes of Utah, in order to really make these things real.
Amazing landscape of Namibia where it's whole suburban houses and Main Street, and then some of these weird giant buildings, actual post-apocalyptic, not digital. It was just like stunning.
Jonathan Nolan, along with his brother Chris, have been people who've really stuck with film as a capture medium, which is, from my point of view as cinematographer, fantastic. The thing I like about film is the happy accidents. The photochemical negative does seem to have the ability to capture highlights in particular. It's very kind to the human face. In film, there are often little things that creep in that you're not aware of when you're shooting, and they can be subtle things like shifts of color or flares and highlights. They're not always a success, but when they are, they're magic.
Everything that Jonah does with someone like Howard Cummings or his DP, he brought the things that were written on the page into the real world.
There's always a moment you sort of wake up and you think, God, why do we drag all these people around the world? And then you look out the window or you get out of the bus and you go, oh, this is why. You don't get so many opportunities to do these sorts of things on this scale with this kind of beautiful, fascinating, rich source material.
The level of obsession on the crew to make it as authentic as it can. They sweat every little detail.
Everyone is very true to the games. All of this is from the game. This is from the games.
The Vault Dwellers and Ella's outfit, we know exactly what that looks like. They didn't vary that at all because it needed to be so precise.
Getting ready.
The first day of school. We had to figure out a way to make that into something that people could wear and to fight in and to stay in for a long periods of time. And also to make them textural and interesting. We have the Brotherhood of Steel, which is uniforms, loosely based on the game, and then we changed colors and changed a lot of elements to their costumes. The way Jonah described it very early on was sort of military, but with a Harley-Davidson edge to it.
All the wonderful work Amy and her team have done with dressing everybody in the Brotherhood of Steel just helps to create these massive worlds.
We created a more grounded version of the 50s and just sort of elevating the style a little bit and base it in a place that was sort of happy and hopeful and optimistic. It was sort of the grounding period and also the place of color.
I love the aesthetic. I love the hair. I love the wardrobe. The vintage silhouettes, but the fabrics give like a futuristic vibe to it. I love it.
The cool, he started out, of course, cowboy. Jonah wanted him to look like he was really at one with his surroundings. The colors are so brown in the wasteland, and so we just wanted to sort of assimilate him to that.
She brought in this long duster, and I put that on, and we both looked at each other and said, this is it. This is the guy. It has this movement to it and this flow to it.
There are wastelanders, and their clothes have sort of stayed in the 50s and also salvaged. These people were like scrounging everything that they could and making stuff from it. We have so many backgrounds, so many stunts. The amount of costumes that we had to make, the amount of people that we had to dress, it was huge, bigger than anything I've ever done.
It felt like I was living in this post-apocalyptic world. The visual treats were endless. I couldn't stop looking at the people around me. It just blew me away.
25 years of games, many different people taking their stab at it. And that's actually, I think, what's kept it alive.
I came from feature film writing, sci-fi genre background, and Graham came from comedy, and Fallout let us team up because it's a mix of action and comedy.
The sort of dream team of the two of them with her sensibility and his sensibility was sort of a glove-like fit for the unique tone and challenge of Fallout.
I played the first game in 1997. First year of university with my roommates all crowded around a PC. It's a bizarre, bonkers game that also has high stakes and scope and adventure and fun. It's the reason we wanted to do the show. The silliness was baked in, and it seemed like a really fun challenge to do that in a television format.
Geneva and Graham are tremendously talented. I think that's such a great decision that they made to show you such different parts of the Fallout world.
We're getting to the Ghoul and Cooper Howard's backstory.
The Brotherhood of Steel, and, you know, what happens when a naive vault dweller goes into a super violent post-apocalyptic wasteland. I think we were both drawn to shows that have main characters who are ironic to the world of the show. We felt like a vault dweller who was naive but also very civilized and sort of morally righteous would inherently create a lot of conflict with her going to the surface. It's this planned universe that Vault-Tec has created that extends for centuries into the future.
You can be a hero too by purchasing a residence in a Vault-Tec vault today.
We were really interested in peeling back the layers of, you know, if a corporation controlled the world and planned every aspect of the world that we lived in, what would the real purpose of everything be?
Our showrunners have created these three really major perspectives that collide with each other in this epic world.
My little sugar bomb. To be able to juxtapose the real human emotions, which this story is full of, with this large scale, and to have both of those going at the same time, it's really a testament to Geneva and Graham. They've done a beautiful job.
With Fallout, you have a world, you have all of the beautiful designs for the franchise itself, and we wanted to try to capture that scope to bring some of these incredible worlds to the screen. For me, as a fan, I just make the show that I want to see myself. It was an experience that I had playing the game that I wanted to feel and see brought to life with film photography.
When we talked to Jonah, it was very clear he had played the games and loved them and had a vision for what it could be on the screen and also what it would take to do it.
He's one of the great pioneers of taking adaptations seriously and elevating the material. So it always felt like we were in great hands, that if we were going to get pushed in a direction, it would be the right one.
The challenges of building the props, the challenges of finding locations, finding the right cast, figuring out which of these things should be done in visual effects, which of these things should be done practically. That, for me, that's the best part of the job. You have to have this incredibly talented crew to pull it together.
He is so creative, and just being around him is contagious. You know, he gets the whole team just like up and moving.
He has a laser-focused vision of what he wants, but he lends to the idea of possibility.
We were able to really visualize a lot of the stuff that he was talking about because he's so descriptive. So it's been a great collaboration.
Adam's in the partial suit for the first time, and Jonah just looks at Carrie and I and goes, "Can we beat the shit out of this thing?" We're like, "Yeah, it's the prototype. Do what you gotta do. This is where we learn everything we need to learn." So he looks at Adam and goes, "Throw yourself on the floor." And it's like, we just looked at each other like, oh no. Sure enough, I mean, there's just parts flying off. And it was the funniest thing. I was like, if this is what this is gonna be like, then we need to try and anticipate everything we can, because Jonah was gonna just think of things on the fly.
He likes location work. He likes what it brings. And so we pick locations that either were expansive or could be made expansive digitally.
The thing I love about working with Jonah is how he just sees the world, and he's got a very specific take on it that has this beautiful combination of scope and epicness with technology.
He doesn't get into technology for technology's sake. It should be invisible to the audience, so that no one should ever know that we did what we did in order to show them what they saw.
I just love how he's able to describe things about the story or the characters and really goes into depth about what he's looking for. That makes my job so much easier to try to turn that into musical notes.
He's so grounded and he's so invested in every moment, and he enjoys it, and he doesn't want to let any detail slip. He cares so much about the art of it. He's just an amazing leader.
When you're working hard with people who you respect and whose company you enjoy, you see that in the finished product. With Fallout, we tried to build a practical version of everything. And that was the enormous challenge we faced down with incredibly talented makeup artists who work with us to create effects pieces for the cast.
The gameplay is what we use as a reference. It was sunburn, it was radiation, it was bloody, it was sweaty, it was dirty. There's several different levels of environmental looks that we had to do, and it had to look real.
Holy shit, you're an actual vault dweller.
I am.
The fun part about Lucy's look was taking this individual and keeping her in this pure innocence world that she's grown up in, which she's known nothing else, and then throwing her into a world of complete unknown. Every ghoulish character she encounters really tests those values of innocence and purity of heart.
Okie dokie. She's never experienced the outside world. She doesn't know what wind feels like, or weather, or temperature, or the sun. There's the sort of physiological responses that your body has to being on the surface for the first time. And then there's the emotional challenge of having your entire worldview change.
At the end of it, even though she's a little bit more beat up, a little bit more rough and tumble, there's still that Lucy Vault Dweller in there. It's fun to see Ella go through that transformation in the makeup chair, through her look. It's a journey that we've taken with her.
Ain't much stage cleanup here, Valty. You'll see.
With the ghoul, the thing that Jonah wanted was for me to still be recognizable underneath the makeup.
With Ghoul, it was quite a challenge because you're wanting to not fall into a lot of categories that have been done and seen before. From the beginning, it was very clear that Jonah wanted something very gritty, very real. He's got this quality to his skin that is very, very old, that has gone through hell and back.
Jake Garber is one of the best special effects makeup people in the world. He's a very dear friend of mine. We've done 8 or 9 movies together, and he stepped in to apply it.
I love doing character makeups, and I do kind of look at this as something along those lines as opposed to just doing something that's like grotesque or gruesome. You can see Walton in the makeup.
The makeup was thin enough that you could still see all of the expressiveness of his performance, but also textured and real enough to capture the look and feeling of the ghoul.
The people that inhabited this world blew me away. It was through this intense collaboration that we landed on what the audience sees now.
There you are, you little killer.
What are you?
Oh, I'm you, sweetie. You just give it a little time.
I'm Walton Goggins, and I play 2 drastically different characters in the Prime series Fallout. The story takes place 200 years after a nuclear war. The ghoul is a bridge between the world before the nuclear fallout and this world that we find ourselves in. There is someone that the ghoul is living for. There is hope that's keeping him alive. He has succumbed to the things that one needs to stay alive in a world where it's kill or be killed.
Yep, it's me, Cooper Howard, star of stage and screen.
Cooper Howard was a Western movie star. He's kind, he's gentle, he's a good father. One may think that they're 2 different people, but they're actually the same, just 200 years apart.
How long since you first started wastelanding? A long, long time.
And Jake Garber is one of the best special effects makeup artists in the world.
I love doing character makeups, and I do kind of look at this as something along those lines.
The makeup was thin enough that you could still see all of the expressiveness of his performance, but also textured and real enough to capture the look and feeling of the ghoul.
Walton completely embodies the character, and it can be pretty terrifying working opposite him.
Well, now that is a very small drop in a very, very large bucket of drugs.
Cooper Howard is representative in some ways of the best that America has to offer. The ghoul has been shaped by the things that he's seen that human beings are capable of. When you watch the story, you will understand the pain that Cooper Howard, ultimately the ghoul, has been carrying for 200 years. And he is a survivor.
In games, we say, try to sweat every pixel. They're sweating every pixel on the show. Like the games, the show is another installment in the world of Fallout.
For the fans, it's going to be about fidelity to Fallout. team at Kilter and Amazon have done everything they can to make sure that it is pure Fallout, and it really is.
Everybody working on it, their attention to detail and love of it. And when you get it right, it's authentic to the world of Fallout.
Our big T-60 machines and monsters, from the Yaoguai to the Gulper and the ghouls, it really is the real-life version of Fallout.
It blew my mind the first time I saw things that were written on the page in the real world.
Every detail, so precise, so well thought out, just like the game.
The technology from the games, seeing all of that come to life, it's kind of awe-inspiring.
Legacy Effects, a legendary Hollywood shop, built that power armor around our stunt performer, Adam Shippey.
They made this suit that in the video game is 1,000 pounds, and they made it something that somebody could wear and operate and perform in.
In fabricating all the props, like the Pit Boys, we wanted to stay true to the design and the aesthetic of the game.
People have wanted to make a Fallout show ever since we did Fallout 3. I took a lot of meetings and had conversations, and I was always sort of, well, it's not really quite clicking for me.
Everything changed when Todd Howard met with Jonathan Nolan.
Todd and I had been fans of each other's work for many, many years.
He and I hit it off, first phone conversation. It was very clear he had played the games and loved them and had a vision for what it could be on the screen. We were really, really patient. And once we found that, it was very clear to us, this is the right way to bring Fallout to the screen. Just like we approach a game where we're gonna tell a new story, put it in a new location, the show does that.
We knew that we would need incredibly talented showrunners to bring this to life.
We were really interested in peeling back the layers of the absurd situations that are just very Fallout.
This is like a new installation of the games.
Working hand in hand with Todd and the rest of the team at Bethesda, there's a lot of work that went into making sure that this series continues to build on the world of Fallout rather than changing it.
If you're a fan of the games and you want to know the next story, this is it.
This is a dream come true for me as a director because you're picking up the mantle of something that so many talented writers and artists have worked on for so many decades. And we knew that we wanted to tell an original story within the Fallout universe.
We were drawn to the idea of creating characters who would embody the different factions that Fallout is so famous for. So a vault dweller, a ghoul, a member of the Brotherhood of Steel.
We wanted to show as much of the world as we can through different lenses, and it just makes you lean in.
My name is Lucy McLean, and I'm an active contributor to the well-being of my community. She is doing her duty. She's rebuilding America. And then she really has her whole world rocked. She comes out onto the surface and experiences the world for the first time.
Excuse me. Hi. I just want to ask you for directions.
And then it gets real ugly, real fast.
Hello again.
The ghoul is someone who has seen the worst that we have to offer as human beings. He's about as ruthless as they come. Fallout explores the chasm between the haves and the have-nots in a world where it's kill or be killed.
We find Maximus as a recruit. He's a part of the Brotherhood of Steel. Seeing these T-60s, something that symbolizes power, it's a moment of awe. The introduction of Lucy, I don't think it's anything that he would have ever expected.
The Wasteland is very different from the Vault. Fallout does a really great job of showing both sides of that coin.
I love a big setting. So to be able to juxtapose the real human emotions with this large scale is a kind of story that I like to see.
There's a tone reminiscent of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly meets Dr. Strangelove, meets Star Wars.
Balancing the darker, more emotional moments with the profound humor creates the unique tone of Fallout.
You're an actual vault dweller.
I am.
I thought all you dipshits were dead.
Practically every person I've met up here has tried to kill me.
You have never been on a ride like this before.
You look out at this wasteland, looks like chaos, but there's always somebody behind the wheel.